I did all the research. I bought the professional affordable gear, and I built this. On paper, it should have been perfect, but something was just off. It looked decent, but it didn't look professional. I thought getting the right equipment was 90% of the battle. I spent weeks picking out the perfect camera and lights, convinced that good gear would do all the heavy lifting for me. I was so close to getting it right. Have we done it?
I think it looks cool, really cool. It's big difference from what we start and what we have right now.
Access by Design. Behind the podcast.
This is what my home podcast studio looks like, but it did not start out this way. This is after over an hour and a half working with a professional to help me dial in the lighting, camera angles, all the camera settings in order to get this result. And I will share a before and after. I did record some footage yesterday with my original setup. There is no new equipment. And Artur, thank you so much for lending your professional expertise in helping us get to this point. And I'm excited for the podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much to give me a chance to participate in this project.
I feel really good about it. I'm excited to edit this footage and show a little bit of the behind the scenes of what it takes to get this done. I'm in the process of setting up a podcast studio at home in what used to be my guest bedroom. And I've done the best I can with sort of the basic knowledge I have. Full disclosure, Artur, we have been working behind the scenes together, talking about cameras and lenses, but I've done what I could do I've set up the studio, I've put in the acoustic panels, I think I have all the equipment I need, but I've done a couple test recordings and you have said to me, you need help. We can do better. And I agree with you. First of all, thank you for agreeing to help me.
You're welcome.
I need your professional expertise to get this to a point where we are recording content that's super high quality, with good lighting, good sound, good camera angles, fine tune the at-home podcast video studio setup to get it from like okay to super professional looking. So thank you. Thank you for gracing YouTube with your presence and your expertise.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for having me on this podcast. I hope I will be helpful in this project.
I know you will be helpful. And I know that you know a lot more about this stuff than I do. So I feel like I'm in good hands. And in order to kind of start this, what I figured I would do is start with no lights. As I understand it, the best practice is to not necessarily use natural light because you want to control the environment more.
Natural light is perfect, but you need consistency. With natural light, it's impossible because, you will have guests. Some guests will be in the evening. Without additional light sources, it will be so difficult for you.
That's a really good point. I can't control the weather. I have to have flexibility with our schedule. So in order to be flexible and consistent, we're going to not rely on natural light. But again, natural light is the best, but can't control it. So we're going to eliminate natural light in this process. And I guess the first thing I'm going to do is close these shades. And I've got a couple different camera angles so you can get the best view of this room. This is where we're going to be recording. So we've got A camera, which is the wide angle camera. We've got the B camera, which you've already told me is super desaturated, and we need to adjust the settings on that because I practically look like, what'd you say? It's almost like it's in black and white. We're going to move around. to start, I'm going to close the shades for the natural light. Okay, so I'm going to close the blinds, which is my main light source, using this giant window I have over here. But I am going to turn on the key light, which is, I do have a honeycomb filter on it because my research said oval light. So hopefully that was a good choice, but you'll let me know.
But you still have some light beams on the chair.
I do. So let's close those shades a little bit more. This is with the shades closed. It's not totally blacked out. Obviously, there's light leak around the shades, so it's not blackout. But camera A and camera B are pretty much blacked out. So what do you want me to do? Turn on the key light?
Yeah, let's start from this one.
Is my key light around? Let's turn it on. Okay. What I do realize is I have a light right in front of a lot of controls on this light. What do you recommend? This is the daylight, which my guess is like the cleanest light, but I have that at brightness 100%.
Yeah, in general, I think we need to keep this light mood of your studio. We can do it a bit more warmer.
This is 2900. This is 7000.
In normal situation, the sunlight is around 5K.
So 5000 K. That's right in the middle.
Yeah, something like this. So right now we have a clean look.
If we go a little warmer, like this is 4400.
Yeah, it looks good. Do you have some backlights? Turn it on.
That light is now on, but super dim. Now that's an RGB light, so I can adjust that light to be a color. Like I know that that'll kind of change our color balance a lot. Like if I were to do something, for example, turn all those lights to blue, it definitely changes.
Yeah, no, it's a different mood.
I definitely want to bring in some color lights in the background, but I don't want to like overdo it. So I feel like I can do that with some accent lights.
Totally agree.
So that adds a little color to the scene. The other light that I have is this. I know that you've had some feedback for me that you felt that light was distracting.
For now, I think it's okay because you have purple sign, purple color, so it makes sense.
We've got most of the lights on. I can use this light as a rim light, and I'm probably going to get another light as a fill light. But for now, I'm just going to work with what I have.
In normal production, we will use wow. So my image I changed a bit, but you use a big lights with a giant softbox. So right now we just work in what we have and try and do our best.
Yeah. I don't have a ton of space that I'm working with. So I think that's the reality is you got to work with what you've got. Okay. So like if I wanted to do something like, let's just go pink. You're saying is like we put this pink light here behind me.
Yep. So you have this small effect on your hair. Also, you can hide it behind your chair.
I don't know if you hear what's going on in the background, but my partner has decided to make a smoothie. So.
Yeah, I hear.
I'm going to call this video, "This is how the sausage is made." Have an idea. This is now plugged into this. The only thing is that will affect where I can then go. Okay, we're back. This is why you need 7,000 USB-C cables.
For the camera B, I'm not sure about angle because on the left corner you have this gigantic light beam and it's a bit distracting. So if we just rotate camera a bit to the window,
You're talking about this.
Yep, that's one. Yeah. This lights looks cool on the wide angle, but for the camera B, it's a bit distracting because main person is you. It's not this light, and right now it's brighter than your skin.
I'm going to just turn.
You can turn the whole tripod. It's too much. Move back. Stop. Move back a bit. Right. You can rotate, and I will tell you stop.
Is your camera angle making you look like this?
The actual problem that we're having is the position of the chair and the light behind me.
So right now you have rim light. You have in general clean composition. and it's not so distracting. Yep. So I think we can move tripod a bit. So if we move tripod to the window, so you will be on the middle of the frame.
Well, let's just turn it off for a minute. This is a problem that we can fix.
And also a fixed angle.
Down. I think I need to buy another Sony camera. Oh, that's a good point. Hold on.
But great gear doesn't matter if you don't know how to use it.
Lens from Viltrox. You had recommended this. I was really impressed with, everyone says these Viltrox lenses are really good lenses, and considering how expensive camera lenses can get, these are pretty affordable.
Yeah, it's really good brand. So the first time I hear from them around 8 years ago when I buy in my first camera.
Stop making this one mistake with your camera settings.
It says AF, I guess that's autofocus 35, 1.7 E, I guess that's the E mount.
You need to change your F number to 1.7.
Oh.
Next step, you need to check your ISO.
Okay, so ISO was at 1250. Okay, so that's auto. Hold on. So this is 100.
Never use auto in a studio setup.
It was those final crucial details that turned my decent setup into a lesson in refinement.
So we've got F is 1.7, which matches the lens, and then ISO is 200. So you think this is like the right setting for the Sony camera?
Right now you have almost the same image for the camera A and camera B. We need to still check the shutter speed. 60 FPS, it needs to be 120.
It's 30p, right? So that's...
So you need to 1/60. What about white balance?
Right now it's on 4500K.
To keep quality, it's better to move camera physically, not zoom, because when you zoom in, you decrease the quality.
So I'm 100% zoomed out now. I'm adjusting this to your point. So we're not using zoom. We're going to use physical placement. This camera as center as we can. So explain to me, so I understand, when you say problems with horizon, that means like we're kind of on an angle?
You have a lot of lines on background, and if angle of camera it's not correct, it's so visible. And
Making progress here.
What's the one detail in your own setup that you're struggling with most? Let me know in the comments.
Have we done it?
I think it looks cool, really cool. It's big difference from what we start and what we have right now. I'm jealous.
So if you want to level up your video setup, let my mistakes be your shortcuts.
Access by Design. Behind the podcast.